were called 1724 for a porch on fire at a cabin here at Grand Bear Lodge. And upon arrival, a short time later, we had 2 cabins already that were fully involved in fire, and we had 30 to 40 mile an hour winds straight out of the south fueling the fire. So we immediately began calling for a lot of extra help and trying to get a handle on the fire. And by the time we got it stopped, we lost 7 cabins out here. There are 24 cabins total. We lost 7. There were 25 villas. We lost 0 of those, and the lodge was not affected. The fire started in cabin 18-3. That was, we've seen some different reports on that, but that was where it started. We had 61 fire departments here from 13 MABUS divisions handling the fire. I don't have the exact number, around 200 firefighters on the scene. The fire is under investigation at this time, but I can tell you that it is not believed to be suspicious at the time of this briefing. I need to really hit some thank yous now. The residents that were living and staying out here and the law enforcement that got here extremely quickly was able to knock on doors and get all the people out of these affected buildings very quickly, and we don't know of any injuries or any problems that were had on the fire ground at this time. No firefighter injuries, no civilian injuries, which was awesome. We had massive response. That takes massive logistics, from the dispatchers to all the fire departments that sent people from all over northern Illinois to our local group here in LaSalle that helped me with the scene. Very appreciative for all those people. We had the Salvation Army here, and they fed 150 people with food and water. We had many local restaurants from the area. We had pizzas and cheeseburgers and you name it showing up here to feed all these people that were working very hard at this scene. The Red Cross provided assistance to, I don't have a number of how many people, but they found them places to stay that were displaced last night, and they will continue to work with those people to help them out. We are still back here actively working on putting some hot spots out. Those 7 buildings are all in piles in the basements, and we literally have to dig them apart to douse all the hot spots to put them out finally. So we're down to just a couple departments here, but we are still here working. The Office of the Illinois State Fire Marshal is assisting myself and my chief, Ben Brown, with the investigation, and that is ongoing as well. And I don't believe I have anything else, but I can take some questions if you have some. At the time of this briefing, it is not suspicious. It's under investigation still, but we do not believe it's suspicious right now.
Do you have an idea of where it started and how it started?
I don't have that information right now.
Talk a little bit more about the wind and just how that fed the flames and how tough it made the situation.
So basically what happened, once that first building became fully involved with fire, it started throwing hot embers and ashes, and all the buildings that were burnt were directly north, downwind of where the fire started. And all those embers were landing on all the other buildings, and that's what caused so quickly to have all those on fire. And then as we get out here, our main goal is to stop it from getting farther north, because as you could tell by the numbers, there's a whole bunch more cabins and villas out there that were directly north of where we got it to stop, which was very fortunate with that kind of wind condition.
There's a report that of the 28 units destroyed, 2 were primary residences. Everyone else uses a second home. Can you confirm that information?
I don't have that information.
How many vehicles were affected?
These buildings were made out of wood, and that present a particular challenge as compared to like maybe a brick structure?
I wouldn't say it was a particular challenge, but wood frame construction burns faster than a brick frame construction would. But I don't know that would have mattered in this case. Once the roofs got going of these buildings, I'm not sure what they were made of really mattered. Somebody asked how many cars were involved. There was 7 vehicles that were destroyed, that were in front of the cabins that burned.
A little bit about water resources and whether that played a role.
So this area does not have fire hydrants. This is a rural area, so all the water that we brought in here had to be hauled by trucks. So we had approximately 40 trucks hauling water in, and I can't tell you how many gallons we used, but it was in the 5-10 million range, and it all had to be hauled from Utica and LaSalle's water systems out here. And that just makes another challenge. When we can hook up to a hydrant, we don't have to haul the water. That really helps us. But when you're rural and you don't have it, we know how to deal with it.
Do these cabins have any kind of fire suppression built into them?
I don't have the answer to that.
You just talked a little about the investigation going forward, what's going to happen this afternoon.
Yep. So the fire marshal and myself, or Chief Brown, are going to work some more on pinpointing what we think caused it or started it. And once that investigation's done, then the Corn Belt Electric and the Ameren Gas has to do their work of getting all their systems shut off officially and then turn back on. And I don't have an ETA on that, but I know it's going to be a while before people will really be able to get back in there to the unaffected units.
You just confirmed it was 28 units.
So there was 7 buildings, and each one had 4 separate units in it. That's where the 28. So when I say there was 24 cabins, that's 24 times 4 if you use that math. So. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. So.
And so as far as you know, the one where the fire started did have someone staying in there at the time?
It did. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they were home. So. All right.
Could you just spell your last name?
Sure. My last name is Partain, Partain. And as far as press briefings, we're not planning on having any more. We will be getting an official press release out. We have not had a chance to do that yet, but we do thank you all for coming down and documenting it. So, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.